Hello and welcome back to Obscure Vampire Chronicles Facts. My name is Ray Gore, and I am very excited that I'm going to show the extended look of Season 2 of Interview with the Vampire on AMC and AMC Plus, premiering May 12th. I have a couple of things about this. One, hello, if you don't know who I am a huge fan of the Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles series. I've been a fan since I was a teenager, and basically it took over my life, and I've been waiting for this show to come out, my whole life. So, on that note, I want to go into this season, this new season, a little differently than I have in the past. Whether or not I actually succeed doing that, I'm not sure. But basically, what I want to tell myself is that I want to try and not have so much nostalgia, not have the nostalgia effect take over my enjoyment of this show. The other thing is that I feel like I have a little bit more of expectations for this new season, because when season 1 came out, I had a little bit of different expectations. So I've been following the production of the Interview with the Vampire series before it was even called the Interview with the Vampire series. It was supposed to be called the Vampire Chronicles series. And so, because I've been following it for so long, I was following the interviews and all the little promos that would come out, and it seemed to me that we were gonna dial it down on a lot of the very dark, twisted things that Anne Rice had done. Which, for TV, I can usually forgive because it's TV and I expect that kind of thing. But they didn't do that. In fact, the first season was more twisted than I expected. And so I was very taken back by some of those more twisted things that they put in. Not that that made it bad. It just wasn't expected for me. So now I have a lot more expectations going in for season 2 after watching this trailer. And then I'm going to go into a deeper dive on what I think is going on, what theories I have. I have some insane theories, so just forgive me here. Another thing, I'm not going to talk that much about the 1994 film. I think out of all of my friends, I was the one who has been the most excited about this series because I did not like the movie. Don't pay attention to the fact that I'm wearing merch from it. I just like I just like it. So the 1994 film it just was not how I envisioned the Chronicles to go, and also they never continued with it. So I just don't have any nostalgia for it, and you can watch other videos for people to discuss comparison of the movie, but that's not going to be me. So, on that note, let's go ahead and play the trailer.
It is how it happened. I didn't think it at the time, but yeah.
May I make an
I
observation?
lost control of the interview.
Yes.
He's skilled.
He wants you in pieces for the privilege of putting them back together as he sees fit.
It's his job.
It's his drug. He's reveling in.
So, it looks like Louis, which I've been questioning this for a while. It looks like Louis was the one who wanted this interview. I couldn't figure out for a while if Armand was the one who wanted the interview in the first place, or if it was Louis. And it seems to me that Armand is not happy about this interview happening. And I'm wondering why. Well, I mean, I can guess why. 1, he doesn't want Louis talking about Lestat, and 2, he doesn't want this book to happen because he doesn't want Louis to get killed by a bunch of vampires. So, Armand is not happy, and he is also criticizing Daniel quite a lot, which, as a big fan of the books, lot going on in my head, because on one hand, this is a different universe from the books, and I'm well aware of that. But on the other hand, I have knowledge from the books that helps me understand what's going on. So it's very confusing.
You should end it.
Session 10, the vampire Louis and the vampire Armand.
You have our attention.
Are you two going to finish each other's sentences for the whole session?
We've been together 77 years, Daniel. Should we let the math of that settle?
Say something, your Claudia.
Spark in the dark. Almost it.
I love Delaney as Claudia. I'm actually really sad that we didn't get her for season 1. Nothing against Bailey Bass at all. Nothing against her. It's just, I would have really loved to get to know this character. And switch it over here so that I'm looking this way now. I just wish that we got to know this character, not this character, but this this version of the character. I think that would have been really cool to see, you know, that bond build up between the audience and the character. So I'm just really sad that we didn't get her for season 1, because I think she is so cute. I think she is so cute, and like you said, she's a spark in the dark. Like, her acting is just so mesmerizing, and she's just so pretty. I'm really looking forward to seeing her.
Say something to you. Our life is shit. It's been shit. It is shit. It's gonna be shit again. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. The shit life beats no life. And where we're going now, we can't be running away again. We're gonna find others like us. We can't be the only good ones out there.
Welcome! We here at Théâtre des Vampires delve into the underbelly of the human soul.
We do horror shows so we can...
So I love the way this trailer is telling a story here. So Louis and Claudia go to Europe. Consequences of that are that it's during World War II. So I noticed that there's a little tiny snippet of a reverend around here. So the reverends are the zombie vampires, basically. They go insane from being vampires and going so long without blood, and so they kind of they're mindless beings. And I'm wondering, did World War II wake them up? I'm really thinking that the war woke up the reverends. That would be really interesting and kind of funny in a really messed up way. I'm just really realizing Claudia and Louis are dealing with the war and the zombie vampires. Like, they just cannot get a break.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself. The shit life beats no life. And where we're going now, we can't be running away again. We're gonna find others like us. We can't be the only good ones out there.
Welcome! We here at Théâtre des Vampires delve into the underbelly of the human soul.
Ben Daniels as Santiago. I am looking forward to this so much. I think he's such a good choice for this role. He's just theatrically evil, and I love that. I'm just very mesmerized by this character, because he's like the right hand, you know, Armand's right hand. And why does he have bleach blonde hair is what I want to know. And what is his deal? I want to know what his deal is. And I also really love this shot, because I just paused it before it happened, but she was looking straight into the camera. And when I caught that the first time I watched this trailer, I was like, oh my god, like that's horrific. Like, this is terrible. I mean, she's getting it's awful.
do horror shows so we can eat people.
Lestat.
So, this seems like it's during the interview that this is happening. And I'm going to kind of go into it later, but there's a chronicle of events that I think unfold throughout this trailer, so we'll get into that.
Lestat.
There is no scripting Lestat. You cannot script a hurricane.
Let me guess, he's your companion finally. Picked another one over me!
Paris sucks.
That's not the point she was making.
Fuck these vampires.
I'm gonna get out alive.
You fear Armand. You should fear the other one.
So Justin Kirk is playing a mysterious character. We don't know who it is, but there's rumors it's either going to be Marius or David Talbot. I don't know where the Marius rumors came from, except that he's just he's not a gentleman and he's in his 30s. I don't think he's in his 30s. So I think people just assumed because he's older that he's going to be Marius because they just couldn't think of anyone else. But this definitely seems like a David Talbot character, although I've seen tidbits of people saying online that he doesn't have a British accent. I can't really tell. It's definitely not an accent that's pretty normal here. So he's either a vampire or he's David Talbot, I think. Either way, I think he's with the Talmasca because, one, they have to advertise the Talmasca show. And so, yeah, I definitely think he's with the Talmasca. Or he's a Mayfair, but maybe both.
I'm not here, I'm just fucked in the head.
You're stronger. Harder too. But you gotta give up something to get something.
This line, it could have so many different meanings. It could have losing Claudia, gaining Armand. It could mean losing your life, gaining vampirism. There's a lot that this could cover.
You and me. Me and you. You and me. Me and you. You and me.
I mean, you don't understand the meaning of your own story!
I failed Louis once in my life. It wasn't in San Francisco. I was in love.
You buy that?
Pieces of my life gone. I knew who I was without those pieces.
Memories just keep bubbling up.
I want this to remember.
Now we're going to go through it frame by frame here. Remember how I said that I have some insane theories? I have some insane theories about this. I know what it looks like. It looks like Louis is setting fire to Lestat's portrait because this is taking place during the big fire that happens at the Theatrus that he causes after, you know, whose death. But I think this could be a dream sequence because there's no fire around it. It's just the portrait. I think there's a lot of significance to this portrait that we don't know about. We've seen it in a lot of teasers. And again, there's nothing else on fire around it. It's just the portrait. So what's with that? I've noticed something throughout this trailer is that a lot of shots are the actors looking straight into the camera. Now, I'll have to rewatch season 1, but I don't remember it being as often as I've seen in this trailer. It's like to really remind you that this is from Louis' perspective. So as we can see here, Claudia is doing some advertising for the Theatrus in a little girl's outfit, which we know that she does not like to wear little girls' outfits, and a civilian pushes her. This is the same outfit that she's wearing here, where she tells Louis that he's picked another one over her, which tells me that Armand was the one to send her out there and that he has been driving her to the edge. I am overall so confused on what is going on with Lestat showing up at the theatre. And I can only come to the conclusion that it wasn't actually like this. Making himself out to be the victim here. He's looking around like, look at what these people have done to me. I think this is all part of Armand's little play. He's basically making a play within a play that Lestat had come back for his revenge, and therefore explaining why he's in that tight black suit again, which, when was the last time we saw Lestat in a tight black suit? Oh yes, episode 5 of season 1. And I think Daniel is going to notice this, that this is a pattern. Do not pay attention to why Claudia is in a yellow dress. Don't pay attention to it. Okay, now going into the 1970s flashbacks. We see Daniel getting attacked by Louis after he says the line, "You don't know the meaning of your own story." Okay, another weird theory. This shot is interesting. So Louis attacks Daniel, and we see the tape recorder fall underneath the table, and I'm wondering, I don't know much about 1970s tape recorders, okay, so don't get mad at me, but what if it didn't stop recording? Like, I know that that Daniel was listening to the tapes, but those tapes were sent by Louis and Armand, so couldn't they have tampered with those tapes like they tampered with Claudia's diaries? So Louis attacks Daniel, and then what it seems to me is that Daniel's just kind of cowering in the corner, or he's knocked unconscious. That might be what's happening. And Armand gets mad at Louis. I'm not sure if he gets mad at him for attacking Daniel, but he comes in and he's not happy with Louis just talking about Lestat all the time. Also, they had been there all night, and Armand is just like, oh my gosh, like, enough with Lestat. And so I'm wondering if this, okay, I'm wondering if Louis and Armand took a little break. I know they said they've been together for 77 years, but we know that Louis isn't always honest. So I'm wondering if they took a little break and then got back together later, because we saw them in the 1970s, and then we saw them in the late 2020s. God, is that how you say it? Late 2020s? Ew. And they're like a completely different couple. You know, you got them at this gay bar, and they're kind of being in an open relationship, sort of. They're having fun, they're talking to guys, and then you get them in the 2020s and they're all secretive and, you know, hidden away, and they're not the same anymore. And I'm wondering if the reason for that is because they took a little break, and during that little break, Armand decide to have some fun with Daniel, and that's how we get Devil's Minion. I just hope that's how we get Devil's Minion. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's not how I hope we get Devil's Minion. I just hope we get Devil's Minion in general. We get this lovely scene of Lestat eating paper. I'm guessing that there's like some kind of animal that's eating paper or something, and Louis is just like, oh wait, yeah, that's not Lestat. Sorry. I keep hallucinating. Seeing hallucination Lestat is gonna be really fun. Not for Louis, though. Then we see Lestat getting pushed away by Armand, which looks like it's another 1700s flashback from the red coat, and there's somebody next to Armand. I wonder who that could be. Now we see Lestat during his Lelio Rising phase, which I love this part of TVL, and I can't wait to see it adapted. And I love the line here, there's no scripting Lestat, you cannot script a hurricane, which I'm wondering if Armand might have been a Lestat fan back in the day. And I wonder what that means for Lestat and Nikki's relationship. If Armand was a fan, I'm wondering if there's another love triangle. That would be a lot. We can see Armand in the balcony here. The balcony. That's not what it's called. We see Armand, and he looks a little out of place. His outfit is not like everyone else's. So it seems like, I don't know, that's just what it looks like to me. Maybe that's just because we want to be able to notice him. But he does kind of look like one of those desperate concert girls. Going back to this shot, though, there's a lot going on here because we have Louis, Claudia, and Madeline. Madeline or Madeline? I think it's Madeline. All in the background, and they are all like looking down, and I'm not sure what that's about, like why they're all looking the same way and away from Lestat. Oh god, I can't believe they did the yellow dress though. That's a cruel touch. I don't want to say it's a nice touch, it's a cruel touch. And it looks like the Rue Royale, the Louis and Lestat's house, is on fire in that shot, in that drawing in the background. It looks like the Rue Royale. I mean, it's green, so I mean, there could be some buildings that I don't know about or something in this show, but I don't know. It's kind of what it looks like to me. Oh, Lesmand. Where do I start? Because I knew that we were gonna finally get, you know, their beef, and I knew there was gonna be a love triangle, but I didn't realize that we're getting a real love triangle. Finally. This is gonna be so messy. Oh my god. And I really doubted it. I thought that, you know, for TV that wouldn't work. In the books, they are all naturally polyamorous, but for like TV purposes, that might be a little hard to show because while they are naturally polyamorous in the books, they are also still jealous. They still experience jealousy. So the way they go about that, I explain to people, is kind of like animals, because are animals polyamorous? We don't really know. You could argue yes, kind of, but I don't, it's just not a concept that they have. And I kind of apply that to the vampires, is that they just have these natural feelings and they just act on these natural feelings, and they don't have any labels for any of it. So while a character might go off with another character, and that other character, they could be okay with it, or they might be jealous but okay with it. It's a little weird. Not weird, but it's different. And so, but for Armand and Lestat's relationship, it's a very interesting relationship because there's a lot of hatred behind it. Not like Louis and Lestat. Louis and Lestat is a bit more somber than Lestat and Armand, because with Louis and Lestat, there's just this huge spark, and then this somberness when they are living together that, you know, leads to their divorce arc. But then but Lestat, I know that a lot of people are a little confused by this, because they're asking, well, what's going on? We thought that Lestat hated Armand or didn't like Armand, and yes, that's true. He does hate Armand, but he does love him. It's not a hate love that he and Louis have. That one is more very unconditional, because for Louis, he and I'm just talking about the books here, I mean, he feels love for him no matter what, no question. For Armand, it's much more confusing for him, because the way he described it in The Vampire Lestat is that he could see himself being his companion. He could see that that could happen, but it just can't for him. It is just not possible for him to love Armand with his whole heart, because of this darkness that Armand has that is beyond him. And I think part of that darkness is what he did to Nikki, and Lestat is just not capable of forgiving something like that. But it's not just that. I think it's just overall him, his personality and him as a character was just too much for Lestat to handle, and so he turned him down when Armand offered to be his companion. That it's just not a possibility for him. It just doesn't feel that way. Very, very interesting relationship, and I'm really looking forward to it. I really didn't think I was gonna get it. Not like that. Speaking of this kiss here, I have no idea where this could take place, because the kiss I'm thinking of is in the Vampire Lestat. There's a ball, and Armand uses his spell gift on Lestat to kind of draw him towards him, and where Armand attempts to assault him. And so, but this looks like that Lestat is wearing those pinstripes from the trial, and it looks like they're on the balcony, which could be where Armand saw Lestat for the first time. But I wanted to point out that Armand is wearing these 17th century clothing here, while Lestat is wearing 1940s style clothing. And so I'm wondering if Armand is purposely trying to dress like Nikki and just messing with his head. Get in, loser. All of the ships are canon, okay? No more ship wars. Finally. Well, okay, no, it's not final, but I love Missy shipping. I love it. In the Vampire Chronicles fandom, shipping is for all. We never had any ship wars before the show came out. Never. If it did happen, I never noticed it. Then again, the Vampire Chronicles fandom was pretty small online. I'm really interested to see how this relationship plays out, because it does seem like Armand and Louis are trying to play off as the perfect couple in a lot of these clips and in front of Daniel, but we're starting to see little things here and there that show that they're not exactly on the same page. And I want to also point out that there's a painting in here, and I'm wondering if this is Armand's room, because when he was a kid in the book, he was a painter, and so I'm wondering if that's a reference to that or something. Speaking of, I wonder how they are going to play out Armand's backstory, because apparently, according to the actors in one of Immortal AMC's Q&As, that they are going to show Armand's backstory. And I'm not sure if it means backstory of like this part or backstory, but I'm very curious about that. Okay, do you remember me talking about the tape recorder and how it fell under the table, and that it's my theory that it was still playing, or maybe he set up another one? Maybe he's listening to it. Maybe he's listening to some tapes that he wasn't supposed to listen to. So Justin Kirk's character says something interesting here. You fear Armand, you should fear the other one. First of all, why would Justin Kirk say the other one? Why wouldn't he say Louis? Is he actually talking about Louis? Because I feel like it could be that the editors might be tricking us here, and they're not talking about Louis at all. But if he is talking about Louis, why should he fear Louis? Because Armand is obviously farther superior in power. So what's going on with Louis that he should fear him? I had another theory a while back that Louis is the new core. I'm going way beyond here, but it would explain a lot of things, honestly. Like why they're in Dubai, why Armand is super protective of him, why does he want all these vampires to come at him? And I'm wondering if Louis ate the heart of, well, if he ate the heart of Akasha, then we wouldn't get Akasha's character, so that wouldn't make any sense. So Claudia and Madeline's relationship, I'm wondering if it's gonna be more romantic than it is platonic or familial. But there's always the thing that, like, it's strange because a lot of the fandom seems to really like this pairing, this idea that Madeline becomes Claudia's girlfriend. But the thing is that in a trailer a while back, Claudia was wearing that that little doll outfit when she sees Madeline. And so okay, let me get something straight here. I really do want this relationship to happen, but it's not gonna be perfect. It's gonna be very messy, especially if we actually delve into the fact that Claudia does have the body of a 14-year-old, of a child, and to get into a relationship with a 20 to 30 something year old, it's gonna be very hard. Very, very hard for her. Very hard for Louis too. I'm not sure that he would automatically accept that. It'll probably take him a while to be okay with something like that, I would think. I don't know. I would think. This is my favorite part of the trailer, is when he goes, "It's you and me and you, it's you and me." Because he is the vampire. It is his story and how he sees the world and how he sees his relationships with everyone and what that means to him. And I don't know, it's like Louis has such a strong connection to all these characters. I don't know if you noticed, but he attracts a lot of characters. He's the it girl. He attracts a lot of characters, and I don't know, it just kind of makes it like his world right now is revolving around himself, and I feel like Daniel is trying to bring him out of that. Like, it's not just me and you. It's not just me and you. It's all of us. And it's very crazy when we get the shot of Lestat, because this looks like they're still in that tent or wherever they were at, where Louis was telling Claudia, "It's you and me," and then he says, "Me and you," and it looks like it's the same shot. So it's like, no, it's not me and you, Claudia. Lestat's always there. He's always haunting me. There's always somebody haunting Louis, always somebody trying to drive his narrative. Ooh, gosh. Because right after that, we get Daniel say, "You don't know the meaning of your own story." And I think that's what they're kind of driving towards, is that Louis is trying to find this meaning in his story. But I think what it is that it's always him and somebody trying to make him who he is, but he needs to find out who he is on his own. That's how I say it. Then we get this badass shot of Louis, which, oh my god, I hope that's a scythe behind him. I hope that's a scythe. He looks so good. He looks like badass Avengers, like, oh, It looks so good. But I do want to point out that Armand says something really interesting here. He says, I failed Louis once in my life. It wasn't in San Francisco, which I'm guessing means the trial. That he failed Louis at the trial. So what happened in San Francisco that Daniel would think he failed him? What does that mean? And then they're kissing. It just looks so cute. They're so cute. Louis does not look happy with Armand here, and he's got a hallucination Lestat with. I hope it's a hallucination Lestat with him, and I can't figure out. I can't get the vibes of this scene, other than Louis looks not really angry at Armand. He just looks kind of skeptical. Like, I don't really trust you. I've noticed that there are a lot of shots of Armand flying, with Louis still on the ground, which I would think that if you have a partner, you wouldn't just be flying around him all the time, right? So in season 1, it was a whole thing that Lestat didn't even tell Louis that he could fly. So he never went flying around him. And here's Armand flying at the beginning of the trailer, and then flying again here, and also not even in, like, it's like the stairs are right there, dude. The stairs are right there. Just take the stairs. Very interesting editing here for I was in love and you buy that, because I would think that if he's talking to Louis and Armand, they would say we were in love. So I'm wondering if Armand is talking about Lestat here. This shot is really interesting. So after the fight that Louis and Armand have, it looks like Armand's eyes are super dilated. So this must be right after their fight, or maybe he's still pretty emotional, but he looks really distraught. And I think that in the back, because I can't see Louis just sitting down and then just some chair flying. I think that it's Daniel in the background, and I think that he's tied up to the chair because they just didn't know what to do with him afterwards. Again, for my theory that this is how we're gonna get Devil's Minion. So sorry if my shipper brain takes over. It's like 90% right why I read the books. There's other reasons why I read the books, but it's a good 90%. And here's Claudia again in the yellow dress. Very, very interesting that they look like they're all having a good time. Then we get this shot of Claudia in the sun, and I think it's kind of the show saying, like, we all know what happens because you've either seen the movie or you've read the books, and so they're not gonna try to shy away from, you know, it's not like it's a huge spoiler at this point. It'll still be heartbreaking, and it might still be a spoiler for some people, but I think there's going to be some pretty heavy twists. Like, we know Claudia is going to die, but about how she does it and when and who is going to be very interesting. It's one of those canon events, I think, where it's like, you know, they can make changes to whatever, honestly, because there's no real canon in the Vampire Chronicles. But this is one of those things that's like, this is a canon event. This is what makes Louis who he is. This is what makes Lestat who he is. And so, but this shot, I think, might be Louis trying to himself, because he's going into the sun. That's all I can think of is what's happening here, which I'm guessing that that's going to bring Lestat back. If Louis does try to himself, then that'll bring Lestat back, because that happened in Merrick. He was in a coma, and then he came out of it simply because Louis tried to kill himself. I didn't even do this. I don't know why I'm doing that. But that's my theory, is that that's how Lestat's going to come back, because he can't have that happening ever. He refuses for Louis to kill himself because he doesn't well, for one, he doesn't want to make that mistake again. He doesn't want to lose another loved one. So yeah. I know people are theorizing that this is modern day, but I'm not so sure. I don't recognize that coat though, so it could be. And Louis is wearing black, but I just don't want to get my hopes up here. I don't think they would show that in a trailer. Then these books come flying out at Daniel, which I'm guessing either Armand or Louis get pissed off and make that happen, which is what causes Daniel to go to that Talamasca member and be like, I want to get out of here alive. But let me talk about the Talamasca member again, because I forgot to mention this. I think that Daniel has been working for the Talamasca this whole time, and we just didn't know, because, you know, to get randomly pulled aside by some guy and to tell him that, you know, he should fear these vampires. I think that the Talamasca has been in contact with him to make sure that they can get the whole story, because apparently there's some kind of vampire apocalypse going on. That we find out from season 1. So if there's a vampire apocalypse going on, I'm guessing that the Talamasca has been trying to find a way to figure out what's happening, and so that's why they want Daniel to do this interview. This looks like somebody is pulling somebody's tongue out of their mouth? I don't know. There was some BTS photos of some shots that they did in New Orleans of some kind of creepy moss house, and this is a shot of modern day New Orleans, so we definitely go to modern day New Orleans. Now, to do the Lestat reunion, I'm not sure. I don't think that they would do that yet. I don't think so. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into Interview with the Vampire Season 2 trailer. I have been waiting a long time for this adaptation, to see the Wolf Killer, see Lelio Rising, see... gosh. I still can't believe that it's real. I've waited almost 20 years for this, and I feel like I'm getting spoiled. It's such a pleasure to be able to experience the show. It's a very, very special thing to me. So thank you so much if you've been watching my videos for a long time, and be sure to check out Interview with the Vampire on May 12th on AMC and AMC Plus. And I will see you soon. You can follow my my Twitter X or Instagram at gore_VC. And I will definitely be posting more review videos, probably here. If not, I'll be posting them on TikTok. If not there, then I'll definitely be reposting all over the place, so don't worry. And yeah, that's all I have. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.